Hello, it's me. I'm here and I'm real. Let me just go ahead and get the usual playlist on real quick. Get everything else set up nice. Make sure the audio balancing is a-okay. It's oh, no, that's stunning. That. Yeah, I do need that. That. All right, there we go. Now we are officially in business. Let me go ahead and open up one of the levels so I can explain a little bit about what we're doing today. And I'm gonna have to update this, the daily goal, because that's a little out of date. Day demo coming this Friday. QnA. Or I'll just say that. There we go. So as you can see from the title of the stream, it's pretty straightforward today, pretty non-complicated. Yeah. Is the game music? I wish. Although my composer's doing great work. I'm really excited to see the final version, to hear the final versions of the tracks once he gets those finished. But that was Massive Fire from Yakuza 4, and you're listening to Xeno Arcadia from Hylix 2 right now. So, anyways, today, what we're doing. So, as you can see in the title, it's a speedrunning and Q&A, because the demo, I'm gonna say it, aside from getting the music in, it is essentially done. Like here, we can go to the main menu and you can sort of see how far things are. Got like a nice little splash screen, continuing with the splash screen, got a title screen, which I need to actually edit that real quick again. Let's set that to hidden. But I've got a fully functional title screen. We've got a link to the YouTube and a link to the Patreon page. I'm going to try to get a link to the Steam page if that goes up before the demo comes out. That'll be nice. Keep in mind the demo is not going to be available on Steam right away just because there's some waiting periods, and I want to get it on Steam, but we'll see what happens with that though. There might have been some complications, I might have screwed it up, but there'll be at least a wish list page. Wish list page. So, if you guys got any cool questions to ask, any thoughts, any questions, comments, or concerns, that's what we're here for today. It's pretty chill, pretty relaxed, because like I said, game's pretty much done. It's ready to ship, mostly. Just waiting on music and getting the Patreon and the Steam and the itch page, getting everything ready to go, getting a trailer together, getting together a video to talk about how the competition works, figuring out how I'm going to organize that and everything behind the scenes. All the kind of boring stuff that's not super interesting to showcase. So, just going to talk a bit about my process and how it's gone. It's even better. Thank you, Shift Studios. Looks like a banger game. Thank you, D3vius. Welcome to the stream, Skell, and Thomas Valdez, and Father. Will there be any secrets, and is there lore? There's not secrets in this. Not something I'm super prioritizing with the speedrun focused design. Not that I'm against that, but that's something I'm more interested in doing, like, a little further along once I've figured out the core design, the fundamental core level design philosophy first. Like, that's kind of what I would prefer to prioritize. And is there lore? There is some. It's not a focus at all, but I've got, like, story plans sort of mapped out. And it'll be pretty brief in-game, like, very, very simple. What platforms will it be available on? So it'll be, for sure, Windows. I wanted to see if I could get it on Mac, but apparently Unreal has a difficult time getting a Mac export working, so unfortunately that's not going to be the case. The demo, I'm assuming right now, will probably only be Windows, maybe Linux, if I can figure out how to get that working. Final game, same deal, will probably just be on Steam and itch.io for Windows, maybe Mac if I can figure out how to get that working. Ideally Linux as well. Windows is the only one I can guarantee for absolute certain, though. Just right now. I would like to get a game that's available on consoles at some point, but the issue is that I've made a game that is so fundamentally controller unfriendly. Like trying to do all this shit and then this and like the inverter button and the save and load system and having to aim all that while running around in first person. It's already like pretty difficult on keyboard and mouse, so I don't even know if this would like feasibly possible on anything on a controller. Like even if it's a controller like the Steam Deck or like the Pro controller you could use gyro aim, I don't know if that would work. It's a little loud. Let me turn it down on my end. Is there gonna be a Steam page for the sequel in the release, like the worst game? What are you talking about? I have no idea what that means. There will be a Steam page, and I've got very loose like concepts for for a sequel, just as like an idea of as I'm working on this game, you know, it's kind of good to have plans for like where I could take it in the future. But that's, you know, obviously I'm more concerned about getting this done than sequel shit. But as I said, I do have ideas for sequels. It's a fun little thought experiment, like, oh, where could I take this now, and where could I take this in the future if I wanted to? But, you know, not near as important as just making it now. We gotta say a lot of people are hyped about Flying Battery. Can you get it on Steam? That is the plan. The demo I'm gonna say a maybe. I was more confident, but I've had some difficulties with Steam behind the scenes. But at launch, it definitely will be on Steam. I'm just not sure about the demo. Will there be an ending? I mean, not to the demo. I gotta stress, the demo is... The main concern with this is just the fundamental gameplay and visual style and testing all that. All the things that I think are the most important. But the actual game will have an intro and... have a little intro and ending cutscene, just to give a little bit of context as to what's going on. So it's not quite as loose as just, like, a non-sequitur series of events. Oh, is my play... Dude, my playlist broke already. Why does this keep happening? It just, like, stops. Just ceases. Okay, we go back. Reshuffle it. And then play again. No, it shuffled in the same order. What if I skip this? What if I skip to Lava Reef? Does this work now? Yeah, we'll see. Will there be bosses? I would like to have bosses in some shape or form, but not traditional fights. Like, you're in an arena fighting a dude with your weapons, and you gotta drain the health bar down. Probably not. Because, as I'm sure is probably apparent from a lot of the gameplay, the actual, like, moment-to-moment combat isn't really what makes this game fun to play. It's all about the, movement, the way you interact with the environment, the juice management, and I'm sure there's ways that I could make that work in a boss fight, but I'd rather have bosses that are more stage-focused, like somebody who changes how you interact with the level as, like, a consistent obstacle rather than a traditional boss fight. So maybe, like, large enemies or something like that, like special encounters, but not so much straight boss fights. Will there be modding support? I'd like to do that, but it'll probably be post-launch. But who knows? If I finish the game up early, and I've got time before, like, April, and... Okay, hell, if I finish the game early, I'd probably just release it early, but that would give me time to do, like, mod support. Like, I think it'd be cool to do custom stage support in the workshop. I don't know how easy or difficult something like that would be. If it's relatively straightforward, I'd love to do that. I think modding support's really cool, but that's good for the longevity of the game, whereas finishing the game is, you know, obviously more of an importance, but... Long and short of it, I love mods. I think mod support is great. I'd like to have it. Yeah. What games do Sheila and Gunther play? They hang out like friends and such. Did I say that? I mean, I'll take your word for it. I say a lot of things that I don't remember. They like playing... Hold on. Now, well, you asked the question. I feel like I'm compelled to give an answer. This is a Q&A. They have to play something epic. Yeah, they play Enter the Gungeon co-op a lot. And Sheila always hogs the first player slot, so Gunther always gets stuck playing Cultist. When do you think the game will be finished? So the goal for release date is gonna be I'm gonna say April, tentatively. Because that would mean that I can generally give myself, like I said, there's planned to be 13 stages. I've got 3 done here. And then I want to do a couple extra areas of 3 to 4 stages apiece. I might have one more stage than this intro area. Like, other areas will have more than just the 3 that I have here. And so from here to, like, February is probably when I should have most of the main content about done. That'll give me, I forget exactly what the number is. But I should have around 2 or so weeks per stage, which to me feels like a pretty reasonable number to try to hit. Because I do wanna clarify. I know right now I'm able to work quite a bit on the game, like progress has been really good, but I'm going back to college in a month for my senior year, so the amount of time I'm going to have to work on the game is going to be down quite a bit. So having a schedule like that is probably going to be the best bet, and videos are going to be a lot less frequent than they are now. Like, probably down from once a week to maybe once a month, with more frequent posts, like update posts coming on something like Patreon. But, you know, we'll play it by ear. I can plan all I want, but I really won't know. I won't really know till I actually get there, right? But that's a loose idea. Kind of like Battle Block Theaters or S&B. Yeah, kind of like that. What was the hardest enemy to code? Probably Steve. No, not probably Steve. Definitely Steve. I had a lot of difficulties getting the detonator to work. I had this whole, like, really convoluted system for this. So, like, as you know, all you do is you left-click, place the bomb down, right-click, explode stuff. What I was doing was, anytime an enemy would enter the radius, it would have, like, a little collision sphere, and anytime any enemy or entity or something walked into this radius, it would add them to an array. And when you walked out of it, it would take them away from the array. And whenever you pressed the right-click, what it would do is it would run through that entire array, doing a loop for every single element, and then run the explosion code on each and every single one of them. Turns out, all you have to do is run a single event that just does a sphere trace to see what's in the radius. And then it just explodes. It was so much more simple than I needed to make it be. And I spent like probably 2 hours trying to figure out this really convoluted system for the explosion shit, and it didn't need to be anything like that. It was so needlessly complicated. I have to leave the stream. Oh, see you, Shift Studios. Can you give us context on why Juice is what it is? Well, I wanted to have some sort of a strong limiter, or more of another way to balance the tools of your arsenal. Like, the Dragon Killer's Punch is probably one of the best weapons in the game, even with costing 50 juice and not giving you a whole lot back on kill. Like, if you shoot a Gunther with a bullet, you know, you gain, like, you have a net profit from that. But if you kill him with an uppercut, you're still down because of how high the juice cost is. And it's basically just a really good limiting factor on certain weapons to prevent them from being too, like, excessively spammed. And also, since, like, you can still, you know, if you're down to, like, the last little bit of your juice, you can never go below... Oh, well, that's a bad example. But you can never go below 0 juice as long as you continue to hit your shots. So that was a good limiter on certain powerful options, and also a way to reward accuracy and consistency. Meaning that if you can keep your game going, you can keep your aim locked in, then you're not really punished as hard by the limitation of resource. And it's called Juice because it's funny. I just like the name. Pretty simple. Sheila and Gunther also play Isaac or Nuclear Throne. They don't play Isaac because I don't like Isaac. Haha. But Nuclear Throne's cool. Sure, they could play that. Does that have co-op? How are you? I'm good, thank you. Have you played or do you enjoy Risk of Rain 2? I have played Risk of Rain 2, and I like it. It's pretty good. I think it can get a little stale sometimes, and it can be a touch obnoxious at points with how kind of convoluted things can get, especially on like higher difficulties. Sometimes it feels like you just died to nothing. But especially with friends, it's a lot of fun. You can get really stupid, dumb builds. It's got looks really nice, like the music quite a lot. Yeah, Risk 2 is a good game. Sorry for speedrunning. Whoop. Is gonna be lore in the game? Some. Why are the enemies called cells? Well, that's because the thing that this game takes place in is called a Void Collector, you see. That's where the name comes from. And it's a big old living organism. And these guys, the cells, are, well, they're cells. Pretty self-explanatory. Although I guess that won't really make sense until you get cutscenes and stuff, which, you know, you get your cutscenes when I've got cutscenes to make. As in, you know, whenever the actual game comes out. Not too worried about that sort of thing until then. But I do have a decent amount of ideas for a direction that stuff could take. I've got a really cool idea for, again, it's way too early to be thinking about a sequel when the first game's demo isn't even out yet. But I feel like I've got a really interesting, fun idea for a second game that would be a really cool twist on what this game does. And even then, I think the concept behind this game and where the story is going to go is pretty cool, even if it's very minimal and not the focus. I just think it's conceptually kind of neat, but of course I would say that might be a little biased. I'm just gonna finish this run real quick and look back at chat. That's a voltaic. Shit, that's not a voltaic, that's potent. Damn it. What engine is this? This is Unreal. How long do you think the final game will be? Well, that's hard to judge. Because this game is kind of hard. I had somebody playtest it, and it took them about an hour to beat these 3 stages. Now, it's been made a good bit easier since then, but I still imagine it'd probably take somewhere around 30 to 40 minutes for most people to finish it, most likely, if they're playing on the normal difficulty. If you're going to try to go for voltaic ranks, this could easily take you a couple of hours, depending on your previous experience with it, with FPSs and speedrunning and whatnot, and how quickly you can find good routes. Because if you want to get a voltaic plus rank, you need to be really fast. Like, I'm expecting the player to, if you want to get that high rank, you need to be pretty good and get pretty good routing. I don't expect you to be perfect, but I expect quite a lot out of you as a player if you're going to get those ranks. So, depending on how far you want to push it, it'll probably be somewhere around 30 minutes to a couple of hours, depending on how long that takes. Why do the cells gamble? Because gambling's funny. What was your biggest inspiration for Void Collector? I'm going to say the one that sort of inspired most of it in terms of, like, structure, and the kind of style. Well, not style. I guess more so the direction would have been Neon White, because this is going to sound very presumptuous, but I like Neon White. I think it's pretty fun, but there's a good number of things about it that I just didn't really jive with. I thought the music was fine, but it wasn't really my thing. Stylistically, it wasn't really my jam either. It has a lot of, like, writing and jokes that it just kind of suck. And the gameplay is fun, but it's also pretty limiting. And I'd like to... I felt like I wanted to see a speedrun-focused game that was a bit more focused on, like... Oh, you fool. On player freedom and player expression through how they move, how they master the toolkit they have access to. So, I wanted to make a Neon White that was more akin to my taste, in short. And then the combo stuff, pretty simply, it's pretty Pizza Tower-y, and the difficult input system, because, like I said, I've intentionally been leaning into the complexity of the combat, or of the inputs, and that comes from a long love of fighting games. Just, frankly, one of my favorite genres. I love playing them. I love watching them. I love talking about them. And I love complicated, difficult inputs that expect a lot of the player and have a lot of room for exploration and upward bound. I like games with a high skill ceiling. Like, that's one of the most important things to me as to what's going to make a game good versus really good. And I was seeing a question: will there be achievements? There already are, as a matter of fact. We've got 3 right now for just clearing each stage with a Voltaic Plus. I don't know if I really want to do achievements that are more convoluted than that. Like, maybe some, like, if you can clear the entire game with all the ranks or something. But I don't really know if I want traditional, like, gimmicky achievements, like, oh, beat this stage without ever jumping, or whatever. I mean, that actually could be kind of fun to try to beat without jumping. But you know, achievements should be a means to steer players towards doing whatever's, like, already fun in your game. And for me, I think the most fun part is mastery and getting these high rankings. So I want achievements that would lead players further into doing the stuff that is fun. Whereas some games, like a Dark Souls or whatever, it's like, collect 300 Eyes of Newt, so that way you can craft the sword of Gungnir, and you gotta craft all the swords in the game to get this achievement. That sort of thing. That's what I'd prefer to veer away from, you know? What's with the storm in the hub? Well, it's because you're inside of a Void Collector. It's a very stormy, strange-looking place. Development is similar to Pizza Tower the way you do the details in the order. I don't know what that means. How will you prevent cheating in the contest? It should be pretty easy to tell. I don't know if I've formally announced this, but, like, I think I've said this before. But every single run that's submitted is going to need to have some form of video proof, like, not some form, full video proof of your entire run, and we're going to base it off of the timer at the end of the stage, like what the timer in the top right says when you get your ranking. So I feel like it's going to be pretty darn difficult to actively cheat the system. Like, you'd have to modify the game, and it would be kind of hard to not notice that. And like I said, you're going to need to submit video proof of it. Because, I'm well aware that people would be willing to cheat, and I don't really want that to happen. So we're going to take the speedrun.com method of requiring video verification. That would have been so slick. Stop dodging! I hate that guy. What's the speedrun competition going to be on? We're going to hold it mostly on Discord. I have so much faith in this game. The aesthetic, unique controls, skill ceiling, and kooky vibe. Generally not my thing, but I can't wait to see the fastest runs. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I think it'll be pretty fun. Get real ultra kill vibes from this. I don't know if it's particularly ultra killy. I mean, I am a big ultra kill head. But I kind of deliberately avoided doing a lot of the things that an ultra kill does. And I want to clarify before I say this. This is not with ill will. I think ultra kill's a 10. It's fantastic. I love it. But ultra kill is a game that doesn't really require you to engage with its stages or mechanics a lot of the time, and that can work both as a positive and as a negative. Like, you have so many weapons that kind of a lot of them end up doing the same thing, but thanks to the style meter, you're not really required to use... Like, you can switch up how you're playing quite a bit, and gradually increase more and more weapons in your arsenal as you go along, and find those situations where they're applicable. Okay, there we go. So I don't think it is exactly fair to say that you don't always have to engage, but considering how powerful the toolset in Ultra Kill is, you can just skip so much of what the designers have laid out for you. And that's both a fun thing and kind of a bad thing. Because, being able to zoom through everything like I just did there is a lot of fun, and finding cool skips and cool routes is its own kind of enjoyment, but for this, I wanted to have something that would be a bit more limited and force the player to more actively engage with a lot of the level design. And it's not super apparent here in the windmill area. This is something I've realized as the demo's gone along. But I want to have areas that more actively use the theming of their environment. And that's something a lot of FPS games, I think, could do a lot stronger, is really take the theme of their areas more into account with the level design. Like, for an Ultra Kill, for instance. Like, you could probably swap a lot of the themes around visually, and, like, it wouldn't really make a difference. Especially early on. Not so much in some of the later stages, like the water area is pretty good use of its theming. But I want to make stages that really take advantage of the aesthetic and the theme they have. Because, like, I think the only time I really do that here in this demo is with the windmill. Like, you can ride the windmill blades, you can push enemies into it to, like, carry them off screen, that sort of thing. And I want to do more things like that, where I really leverage the strength of the area theming to my advantage. No, I missed! Dang it. That's a good run. Howdy. Do you think any huge bugs are going to eventually be found? I don't think there's going to be anything that's, like, massive. Unreal's a pretty rock-solid engine, and I haven't really built things in a way that there could be, like, massive exploits, I don't think. Like, I'd be really surprised if there was, like, an infinite juice trick or something, because it's pretty hard-coded that, like, if you're under a certain amount of juice, then this happens. Or, like the numbers are coded in a way where you can't really get, like, weird underflows or overflows. Like, I've been pretty specific with that. Obviously not to say that there's not going to be bugs, because there definitely will be. But I don't know if there's going to be anything, like, massive. But if they're, like, cool speedrunning bugs, then I'm all for that. As long as it's, like, if it's, like, a cool, like, weapon switching glitch, or something that lets you beat levels faster in a cool way, then that's all good. As long as it's not glitches that, like, randomly delete your save, or it just, like, doesn't save, or, like, enemies just, like, fall through floors or something, or enemies get stuck out of bounds. Like, those are the kind of glitches that I'm gonna be patching. But if there's like a cool speed exploit, then I'm not gonna get rid of that. I'm not much inclined in getting, I'm not much inclined to getting rid of fun stuff. No, I'm gonna die. I'm dying. I'm dead. I'm an idiot. I'm bad at this game. Howdy there, goat guy. Which one do you like more, Ultra Kill or Doom Eternal? I mean, I guess my inclination is to say that I think Ultra Kill is the one I play more frequently. I would say Doom Eternal is definitely the more well-designed game. It's a more, like, it's finished, so it's obviously a more well-rounded package, but just the constant, like, insane skill ceiling that I feel more frequently in Ultra Kill, I feel more compelled to want to master that over Doom Eternal, even though Doom Eternal is also fantastic, and like I said, probably a better designed game. I think they're both, like, in terms of, like, a purely critical lens, a 9, but I'd give Ultra Kill a 10, and a 10 just means that it's got some sort of secret sauce that I really enjoy. Yeah. But I would also include Dusk in that list. I've mentioned it last time, I will continue to be shilling Dusk. Not enough people have played Dusk. Dusk is one of the best FPSs ever made. It rules so hard. And I think a lot of people have only played, or only know, Doom Eternal and Ultra Kill, and both very good games, I get why. But I think there is more out there that people aren't seeing. Oh, you're not dead. I should think if there's any other FPS games that I'm a big fan of. I love Doom. I love classic Doom. Classic Doom is my jam. I played a decent number of, like, Doom mods, and those are a lot of fun to play too. Yeah. Will you ever add a flying enemy? I'm not against adding a flying enemy in concept. It would just have to not be annoying, because like, how many flying enemies in games are actually fun to fight? And I can't think of many. Oh, another great FPS I should be shouting out is Postal Brain Damaged. That is a genuinely very fun game, even if the title might not inspire a whole lot of confidence. But you've got, it basically just, like, steals a bunch of weapons from other games as part of its shtick. And it has basically the Doom Eternal Super Shotgun with the grapple hook. And there's a flying enemy in that's actually really fun to fight because you can just you can grapple off of it and fly around and stuff. And it kind of turns an enemy into an ally, which is a lot of fun. And I like stuff like that. So if it's a flying enemy like that could be used potentially to help you and not just be a flying hindrance, and if they've got, like, probably a relatively larger hitbox, just to make them a little less obnoxious to deal with, then something like that. That's probably what I'd be interested in. Did I miss a guy up there? No, I didn't. Okay, hold on. I'm about to get a crazy run on this. On 1460, dude. Holy shit, that was crazy. By the way, as I mentioned earlier, this is what the speedrun is going to go off of, the contest. It's going to be this final time here. Because it differs a little bit up here to here, because it has to, like, take a little bit of time to save it before it puts it here. But this is what we're going to count. It's all about this time. But that is a new best time to save for my devlog. Not for the devlog. I'm going to have a little poster. I haven't been reading chat for a second. I'll get back to it in a moment. But you can see right behind here, I've got this section, so it says, feeling confident? Try beating my times. So it'll have best full take plus times on the regular difficulty for all 3 of the stages. Just a little bonus thing for people to go after if they're feeling particularly confident in their void collecting skills. Hey, thank you, Skell, for the $2.99. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate the excitement as well. Didn't Radx Flipnote join once? Yes, he did. That was weird. Pretty cool, though. How many enemies will be in the final version of the game? I don't know. That'll be something we figure out as we go along, for sure. Like how, you know, does this area feel like it needs more enemies? Does this area feel like it doesn't have enough enemies? That's the same thing I just said twice. Pretty loose. I'm gonna go by it based on vibes, mostly. Keep adding them as I've got good ideas that feel like they fill a niche that isn't already fulfilled. Yeah. How'd you get the Bouncer audio? That is from a video game called The Bouncer from 2002 or something, probably. It's a really bad beat-em-up game. I wouldn't really recommend playing it. It's kind of funny, but not funny for that long. But the title screen just says The Bouncer, and it has an announcer go, The Bouncer! And I didn't make that connection until after I had already made The Bouncer, my version of The Bouncer. So I just put that little sound effect in as a little joke to myself. It's not... Unfortunately, it's not going to actually be in the demo, because it's not my content. I can't just go using that willy-nilly. As much as I do love that sound effect. I could just get somebody else to, like, read it in that same tone of voice, though. It's like, you know, what are they going to do? Sue me for saying the word "the bouncer" like that? You know, as long as it's close enough, or different enough. Would you be against people using the music or art elsewhere? I mean, that really would depend on the context. If we're talking just, like, generally, like, if you're making a mod or something, or you're doing fan art, or you're making a YouTube video and you want to put the music in the background, I think that is 100% fair game. I wouldn't want people to, like, take my assets and then make, like, their own game and then try to sell that. Like, that would be kind of lame. Well, not kind of lame. That would be pretty lame. But if it's, like a fan project, or it's something you're just making on your own, you know, anything like that, that is 100% fair game. Just as long as people aren't trying to get cheeky with it, you know? Just within reason. But, like, if somebody's playing it and they're like, oh, I like this song, I want to put this in, like, the background of a YouTube video I'm making, that is completely fine. I wouldn't complain about that. 20 enemies is enough? I mean, I don't know. Who knows how many? We'll keep going until we feel like there's too many. Or if, you know, just whenever it feels right. Kind of what I'm going through this game with is just kind of going on vibes. Like, does this feel correct? Does this feel like a decent amount? Whoops. I guess we've got a little bit of downtime between questions. Could go ahead and talk a little bit about the about plans for the future. So obviously the demo's coming out very soon. That's pretty exciting. Gonna have a... Oh, you just walked off like an idiot. I've got a Patreon launch coming pretty soon, alongside the demo. Probably gonna launch it officially, like, on Thursday or something, just so it's up. So I can link to it properly from the game, test that's all working. But that's something I'm working on. Where... Oh, there you are. I was wondering where Slapman went. You guys love getting jammed behind things, don't you? Might have to look into sort of a roundabout for that. But yeah, next week we've got the Patreon launching, we've got the... Hold on, I gotta fix something. Patreon launching, we got the demo launching, gonna be holding the speedrun contest, monitoring that, trying to see if there's any major bugs or glitches that people are running into. Again, only gonna be trying to fix those if they're, like, actually detrimental, like things that crash the game, or poor performance out of nowhere, something like that. You know, I'm not gonna patch out, like, cool speed exploits. It should be ceiling. There we go. Then where was the little bit where the... Here? Yeah, it was here. There it is. That'll be dark wallpaper. There we go. Now it looks nice and consistent. Because of the bright colors, if it gets popular, do you foresee brain rot? I mean, there kind of already is some brain rot, if I'm being honest. But I think that just more has something to do with the game having... I think there's just a bit of a natural appeal for some younger audiences. Even if it's got, like, edge, which I think the edge probably helps. Like, a bit of profanity and, you know, having the middle finger as a weapon. Like, I know when I was younger, a game that was both, like stupid in this kind of way and would appeal to my sensibilities, but also, like, felt slightly mature, like, not a lot, but it's like, oh, it's got a little bit of edge to it. Like, that, I think that kind of just unintentionally... It's like Friday Night Funkin', I guess. Like, there's a reason that drew in such, like, a large younger audience. Is because it was both, like, cartoony, but also it has, like, an edge to it. and I think I've sort of unintentionally done a bit of the same thing. And if it becomes popular, then undoubtedly there's going to be like, I don't know, some sort of like absurd like YouTube Shorts or something that use the characters. Which, if something like that happened, I'd kind of take that as a good sign. Really, just means that the game is successful enough that it's worth like mooching off of, right? But that's probably not going to happen. That's like an insane eventuality. Like I doubt that this game's going to get anywhere near big enough for to warrant that level of attention. Did any of that make sense? That might have just been like a stream of consciousness gibberish. Not saturated enough? Yeah, maybe. Any concert or music? Oh, well, appreciate the offer, but I've got everything covered for now. Crumble cakes. Do you foresee content farms? Yeah, that's kind of in the same gist. Probably not. I think maybe it has what it would need to like reach that. Like I said, bright colors, stupid. I think that's all you really need. But to get content farmed, you need to be pretty like large, at least from my understanding. I'm not exactly particularly familiar with content farms. It might shock you, but as a 21-year-old college student, I'm not really watching that. It's not really my sphere. But yeah, I don't know. If it got large enough to the point where people would consider like making shitty YouTube videos, spoofing it in a sense, then that's just a sign that it's working out. Oh yeah, you might notice last time we made a super bouncer up here. That is kind of been scrapped. I still want to work on the ultra enemies in some shape or form, but in retrospect, I don't think that this was the way to do it. Because imagine you're playing on the longest stage in the game, where for most people on a regular playthrough of the level, at least from testing, it takes around 4 to 5 minutes to get all the way to the top. Because usually you might fall down a little bit because it's a little tricky to navigate. It expects a decent amount of precision from the player. So imagine that you're all the way up at the top, and then you encounter a brand new form of enemy. That's and then especially one that's really fast, and even for me as someone who's quite experienced with the game, it knocked me off quite a few times. I'm just more imagining how frustrating that would be from that perspective of like making it all the way to the top and then just getting knocked off again by some entirely new obstacle that hasn't been properly introduced yet. So I'm gonna save the ultra enemies for a later world where they get a proper introduction a bit earlier into a stage, instead of trying to cram something new in right here. I think that'll just feel a bit nicer. It won't be as I don't know, obnoxious gameplay wise. So that's been a change. Hey, come here, guys. I never get all of them in one go. Game's probably too niche? Yeah, definitely too niche. Content farms don't generally care about size, more stuff about children like it, and definitely simple enough. Yeah, I mean, it still has to, like, have some kind of recognizability for people to wanna... to get, like, glommed onto by degenerates. Will it be a level creator? Nope, not built in. Not at launch, anyways. I'd like there to be one eventually, but... Well, I should frame it like this. There's probably never, ever gonna be, like, a full-on, like, Mario Maker level editor. Nothing like that. Because that is a whole new level of coding that I'm simply not equipped for. That would be something that I'd have to, like... No joke, I'd have to, like, hire somebody to help with something like that. Because, like, coding UI and making sure that the levels you make are consistent, and coding the tools to generate geometry, that is, like, extremely, extremely complicated of a thing to solve. Now, I could do something like you could import, like, custom geometry, and, like, if you like, I could give the tools where you could make your own stages inside of Unreal and then import those to Steam. That is something that I think is a lot more feasible with my current limitations. But that I could absolutely see being something that I include in some shape or form. But again, we'll see. You know, I don't want to commit to anything too strongly when I haven't really experimented with some of it properly. But, you know, keep in mind that stuff like that is going to be really difficult, and I gotta get this game out within a reasonable time frame before I graduate. So we do the best with what we can, with what we got, with the time we have, with the tools we're given, and the brain we've got. Yeah. You heard of a salt farm? Do they grow salt? Would be a good challenge someday, though. If I get good enough at programming, then maybe. I mean, my instinct is to say that I'm never gonna get that good at coding, but I went from not knowing any Unreal a year and a half ago to making this in about 3 months. So I guess I don't want to say anything too rash. Anyways, I'm gonna try to beat all these stages on Unreasonable real quick, because it occurs to me I haven't actually done that yet. That's something I have not accomplished. I haven't even really attempted. Ooh, I almost just lost right there. I wonder if I can get Voltaic Plus on Unreasonable, actually. Because some of the routes that I've made, I just kind of expect that you're going to damage tank a little bit. Ooh, that was really narrow. Gunther's are definitely going to be the biggest threat to Voltaic Plus runs. I was actually really close there. It was about 0.9 seconds off. Unreasonable, huh? Really is unreasonable. Boom, boom. I'm really excited to see what routes people come up with, because I'm kind of so, like, locked into my own head with how I've routed this game. Like, you know, I made it, so I'm so, like, oh, damn it. I've got so many, like, expectations about how a level should be played. Like, I've just sort of trained my brain to expect seeing levels in a certain way. And it'll be really interesting, especially if there's somebody who hasn't played the game or seen much of it, and plays it here, like, for the first time playing the demo. I'm really, really curious to see how that would go over. Like, what kind of strategy people would come up with, what kind of reactions people have when they're not familiar with the game. And that's kind of the thing I'm probably most scared about, actually, is people who don't know anything about the game, if any of this makes sense, or if this is just going to be like an incomprehensible, like, message gibberish. Anyways, that's first stage down. Voltaic Plus on Unreasonable. He's just that good. Yeah, I don't know. I worry that I might have made some of the time trials a little too strict, too. Probably not, because it's as long as you can finish the stage, it's probably okay that the time trials are pretty hard, because that just encourages you to get good. But like I said, Voltaic Plus, getting Voltaic Plus on some of these levels, up and up, not that bad, it's pretty short. But 3 buildings and big windmill are kind of unreasonable. Like, a little bit. How long did it take to make the hand gimmick? Coding or coming up with the idea? Because I came up with it back in January. I was just sitting in class and I kind of just had an idea for a cool mechanic. Oh, damn, I got slapped. I'm gonna go ahead and save this to my quick slot, actually. What was I saying? Yeah. But I had this sort of hand switching idea. That was the thing that came first. Because I just thought, hey, you know, it would be kind of a cool idea. It's like, what if you could use your hand as like a weapon? And from there, I was just thinking, like, how do I practically? Holy shit! Why did I go so fast that time? Sometimes it just happens. I really don't get it. I do need to get that sorted before the game comes out. But I just had that sort of concept laid down first, and I was like, oh, that feels like that'd be a really interesting. Damn it! Oh, it's so difficult. I felt like that would be a really interesting, fun idea that I could toy around with to make a game that felt really unique and different. I don't know if it's apparent, but it's very important to me to make something that feels different from everything else around it. That's just kind of always been a thought process I've had when making really anything, even in class. Like I oftentimes get into a little bit of difficulty with my graphic design teachers because I make something that's like technically within the requirements, but it feels like it's not really in the spirit of the project. And that kind of applies to myself as a game developer too. Whoop! I missed that juice pickup. That's kind of bad. Man, unreasonable is unreasonable, isn't it? I didn't lie. I really did not lie when I called it that. But that came first. The actual hand gimmick itself, I want to say, took probably about 2 weeks to program. But that was while I was still finishing up my junior year of college, so I was relatively busy around that time. trying to learn how to code in Unity and use C# to make games. Do you have any tips or recommendations? Well, I'll say that there's a reason I use Unreal, and it's because I am inherently more comfortable with visual code rather than, I don't know, normal code, I guess you'd call it. Bye-bye. Oh, shit, I almost got all of them. I'll try to finish all these stages on Unreasonable. How did you just not see me? What are you doing, buddy? That was weird. What was I saying? Yes, when I was in high school, though, I was in robotics, and I was on the programming team, and I quit because I realized I didn't... I moved on to the graphic design team because I realized that was just something I was more, like, comfortable with. It felt like it was a more natural use of my abilities, and now I'm kind of back to programming. Because I still kind of do like programming in a sense. Obviously, I do to some extent because I'm coding a video game. But I just find that kind of difficult inherently. But if I had a general tip for learning programming, you know, something that's not specific to learning like C#, C++, because the one that I learned was C++, is just persistence. No matter how... Why did I go so fast that time? No matter how difficult or daunting learning a language can seem, it's always feasible with enough time and practice. Even if it is, like I said, very, very difficult and very daunting. You just gotta be willing to stick with it and push through the really frustrating times when it feels like you just don't know how to do what you're trying to do. Because that'll happen. You'll spend a lot of time feeling like you're just bashing your head against the wall, wondering why the thing that definitely should be working is just not working, despite your best intentions. And that's just how it goes. That's just the life of a programmer. I'm sure you probably already know all that, but I'm rambling. I'm gonna make a content farm video. You don't really have to do that. Okay, some of you guys in chat are being very dumb right now. You know who I'm talking about. You know who you are. C++ is super hard to compare to others. Is it really? I don't have a ton of knowledge about coding languages other than, like, Python's usually, like, the starter one, right? And then C#, C++ are, like, relatively popular. I had a summer boot camp thing back when I still thought I was going to be a programmer, which I guess I've kind of come back around and have become a programmer. Well, I guess we'll see if that's how that goes with the demo, you know, how this whole thing goes, if the game development stuff works out. Yeah, I did like a little summer boot camp where we were supposed to like learn coding and stuff, and I did learn coding. I learned HTML and CSS for like web design, but I spent way more time like working on the visuals than I did working on the actual code, which I think is pretty telling about how I am as a coder. I'm definitely, I mean, I think everyone's probably results driven to some extent, but I like seeing the results of something that functions, which is why I'm probably not great at like optimizing code. Because I find more joy out of making something that works rather than making something that works especially efficiently. At least that's my generalized thought process. What does the player look like? They're dumb. They got a little spike cut out of their head, like a little spiky part of the head. They wear a cool red jacket, and he sleeps. Well, he doesn't sleep. He's got bags under his eyes, and he's really tired because he's got a hard job, and he's broke. Oh, I died twice there. I've got a drawing of him up way back in the on the Discord in the archives. But you know, I haven't put that in the game anywhere yet because it's not really that important that you know what the player looks like yet. You know, you're only going to see him a little bit in cutscenes, so not really a super high priority. Okay, hold on. Gotta focus up, This is where it gets intense. Okay, now we're gonna... Boom. Oh no! I didn't boost. No, I'm so stupid. I ran into that. I ran into it. Ah, This is fun, though. I'm kind of glad I put this in. C, C++, and C# are pretty hard compared to something like Python. Okay, that makes sense. I wonder how many people aren't talking and just watching the insane chat. Yeah, I wonder. It's kind of just two people in particular. You should describe what all the people playing the game look like. I described what I look like. Bags under the eyes. I think that's it, actually. I'm not blue, unfortunately. But I think the large, at least based off my YouTube analytics, the main majority of my demographic is probably broke college age gamers and children. Which, if you want any proof of there being a decent amount of kids in the audience, just look at this chat right now, or the Discord. I don't really know exactly. This is just sort of an open question, not a question even. This is the thought. But the audience is a lot younger than I thought it would be. It's like to people who just kind of like in the Discord will just post like nothing. They'll just like say something that means nothing to anybody. I don't even think it means anything to them. I think they just said something. It's unusual, I guess. I don't really know exactly what to do with that, other than that it exists. Because like sometimes people in the community can be like a little annoying, but it's like I don't really know what to do about that, right? Ah, shit! I blew myself up. I guess it's just one of the things you gotta take into consideration when you're making games, I guess. The game is still unreleased, meaning only playing it as himself, and is indeed probably tired. It's super cool. I'm definitely tired. That's for sure. Wake up, Seth. It's only 3 p.m. I know. I'm not sleepy tired. I just have bags under my eyes at the time. So I don't know. I sleep 8 hours. I don't know why I'm always sleepy looking. Not my choice. Not my decision. Bam, 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 bam. Look at something else I was going to talk about a little bit. Oh, yeah. So I was doing a little bit of research, because I've noticed that the channel has kind of stagnated recently. Like, the video... Like, I haven't really changed anything, but the videos are getting a lot less viewership than they used to, and the subscribers... Like, subscribers have been coming in a lot slower than they were. Even just like a week ago. Again, off videos that are doing pretty well, but it seems like they're having a harder time leaving sort of my own insulated audience. And that's fine. Just how YouTube goes sometimes. Like, sometimes growth happens, sometimes it doesn't. Where was I going with this? I was going somewhere with this. I wasn't just going to complain about numbers. Oh, yeah. But I was doing some research into, like, other game dev channels to, like, see sort of what they do as maybe ways that could help the channel grow a little bit more. And I've kind of made a realization that's a bit unfortunate. I'm not sure if it's really that possible to be a good game dev and a good game dev YouTuber. Or, like, streamer or whatever. At least not if you're doing it, like full-time. Like, if you're making the majority of your revenue off of YouTube, I imagine it's probably difficult to, like, actually make good games alongside that, or at least give them a whole lot of attention or focus. Cause, like, who are the prominent, like, game dev people online that, like, actually have, like, a consistent social media presence aside from just, like, a Twitter or something? There's, that one guy who made friggin' Crab Game and Muck. That guy. I should know him, because he's, like, the game dev channel. But it's like, I don't... Like, I've played his games. His games aren't really very good. I'm sure they make good videos, but they're not really that fun to play. And a lot of other game dev stuff I've seen, like, makes something that's, like, looks cool or looks funny for a video, but doesn't actually, like, play, you know? I don't know. That's just something I've been thinking about. Is that maybe it's alright that the channel isn't going to be, like, the craziest thing out there, because I'm much more interested in being a game developer than I am in being a YouTuber, you know? I care way more about having a good game at the end of the day that does well, rather than a channel that's got, like, 100,000 subs and I'm making buku bucks off of ad rev and Raid Shadow Legends sponsorships. I guess there's also Pirate Software, he's also like an actual developer. But has he put anything out yet that's like actually been finished? But he seems like he actually does give a shit about the quality of his stuff, like actually making a good game first and foremost. So I don't want to say, I want to clarify that I don't cast that too far. I'm sure there's other game dev YouTubers out there who like make good videos and also make good games. But it seems like oftentimes it's best to make your priority one or the other. And I'm making sure that I continue to make my priorities making a good game rather than making a good YouTube video. You know, I want to make a game that is appealing, but I'd rather make a mechanic that's fun and interesting rather than a mechanic that makes a good YouTube title. You know, doesn't hurt with both. Did you say how long the speedrun comp will be? Yeah, it'll be a week. Well, yeah, that's the guy. He's posting 2 or 3 years now. Oh, okay. I guess maybe he got tired of doing it. If you make a good enough game, people are eventually going to show up, don't worry. Yeah, that's the thought process I've tried to have. It's better to focus on making a good product, first and foremost. Because I imagine, like, a lot of the big indie games didn't really have, like, advertising. Like, maybe some of them have publishers like a Devolver or New Blood or something. But primarily, they just kind of go by word of mouth. So if you make a game that's good, then that's the first step. Although I'm glad I've been doing the YouTube stuff, too. It's good to have that launch pad, right? Because when I release the demo, now I've got 6,000 people that will know that the game is out right when it's out. And that's 6,000 people who could tell their friends about it. That's 6,000 people who could send it to like a YouTuber that they like, who like plays indie games. That's so many opportunities and revenues, or routes that the game could take to find people. So I'm glad I did it, but I definitely think in the future, I'm probably going to be doing less video work and more just working on the game. Because that's what I truly do care about the most. Although I like streaming, I don't really care about making videos that much. It can be kind of fun, but the streams are fun. They're nice, relaxed. I feel like I've generally got a pretty good community when they're not, I don't know, talking about skibbity toilet or whatever. But yeah, all I'm saying is don't be surprised when the channel becomes a little less active. But I doubt I'm not gonna like stop posting. It's still good to let people know what's going on and stuff. Shit. Damn, I'm struggling at this, huh? There's 2-star, which I think is doing it well on the balancing act. That is a good point, actually. I mean, I don't think Two Tutorials doesn't seem like it's that great of a game. It looks like it's probably fun. You know, fun enough. But probably not like breaking new ground. But I think that's probably like his first game or something. So I don't want to be too harsh on the fella, especially since I haven't played the game myself. So I'll cut the man some slack. Please tell me I just got all of them without looking. No, I almost had all of them without looking. That would have been so sick, dude. Shit. I keep running into him. I'm such a fool. I did notice actually one little thing I want to fix up real quick is for the code for Slapmo. I've realized this is a fun little peek behind the curtain. So you know the X-ray function. What that does is it dims the screen and filters it so you only see things that have a certain tag applied to them, and it'll make those glow a bright blue that you can see through walls. So that means that you can see enemies from anywhere if you're down to the last like couple. And I tried to have it so that it would just show up on the sprites, but apparently it just doesn't work on sprites properly. Like you can't just see them through walls even if they have the right material applied. So that didn't work. So what I did is I made this little 2D box that goes behind the enemy sprites. There we go. That should be updated because you could see it at certain angles. So I wanted to fix that. But what it would do is it would show that mesh there. At least it shows up properly on meshes, but it doesn't show up properly on sprites for some reason. So what I did is I put a little box and hid it behind every single character's sprite, so that way you could see them through walls, even though the other thing wasn't working. And that's the kind of stuff I really like about game development, when you've got a stupid problem and you come up with a stupid solution to get around it. And it's only as stupid as it is functional. Why does your description say the darkness is coming? Because it is. What's your favorite kind of cheese? I'm gonna be boring and probably say cheddar. Cheddar's just old reliable. Like there's plenty of good cheeses out there, but like cheddar will not steer you wrong in any situation. I'm gonna take this route actually. This might be a little easier. Like think of a time when you'd want cheese, and just like think if there's a single instance in which cheddar wouldn't do the job. I don't know. It's just universally good. It's just such a powerful cheese. But you know, I'm no cheese connoisseur. I'm no cheese expert. I'm sure there's plenty of other types of cheese that I would love if I went out and tried them. But I can't say I've done much more than the usual like provolone, American, cheddar jack, pepper jack. You know, same old kind of boring stuff everyone knows. The main cheeses. I don't think I've even tried Gouda. You know, maybe I'm really missing out. Maybe it'd be a big Gouda head. But, yeah, I mean, cheese is good. Cheese is just a good all-purpose kind of food. Okay. Whoop. Okay, where are you guys? Aggro, come on. Ooh. Okay, I think I'm gonna touch down here. I think to make this red a little bit easier, I'm gonna go up and around. Place that there. Oop. Wait, why do I have 3 brain? Oh, I didn't set it back to the hard mode. Whoops. So I remember somebody was asking earlier how long I thought this was gonna take, how long I thought the demo would take to beat. If you're trying to play Unreasonable, maybe a couple hours. Probably not if you go back to it, but this will probably add like at least an extra 30 minutes if you're trying to get voltaics on Unreasonable. It is way harder than I thought it was gonna be. You get an ARG. I don't really want to do that. I don't really know how that would fit in to the game. That you know, that's just like another thing I'd have to think about outside of the game. When what I should be doing is just working on the game first and foremost. I just don't really. That would kind of like need there to be lore, and I don't really give too much of a shit about making lore. At least not near as much as I care about everything else. Whoa! So I know what caused that. If you stand on top of these, then yeah, what they do is they try to always face you, and whenever you do that, they will. If you stand on top of them, they'll be trying to face you but get confused, so they'll just like do that. I'm just gonna keep that and see if it happens. It's definitely gonna happen to somebody. But it's kind of funny. Probably a net negative, but it is very funny. Sometimes being funny's got to go over everything else. Okay, what's left? Did I clear that area? No, I didn't. Okay, now it's just that building. For some reason I thought I did more. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and aggro everybody in. Get them all together. No! Ah, the Gorb hit me. The friggin' orb from Gunther. The Gorb. Gouda's pretty good. Cheese and bread are the 2 universals? True. Not really a story game? Yeah, 100%. It's a lot more important to me that the game be fun to play rather than have a good plot. I do like a good story game. I've been playing a lot of Yakuza lately, and those games are pretty good for story. Sometimes. Yakuza 4 is kind of a mess, the way it's written sometimes. Like it's mostly pretty good, but then like a certain plot twist happens, and I'm like, what are you guys thinking of this? If you played Yakuza 4, you know what I'm talking about. But it's yeah, you know. But I like the odd Ace Attorney. I like games with good plots in them, but it's not something I prioritize super heavily right now. I do have a fun fact actually. I have another game that I was working on with a friend before I started working on this project, because he's just been busy with a lot of other stuff, and I think that project would take quite a bit of time to develop, and I wanted to get something done that would be a bit faster and smaller scale before trying to do something like that. But it is a murder mystery game called Goat's Curse, where the gist of the game is the main character has the ability to witness the death of somebody around her through the victim's own eyes. Shit. So it's a sort of reverse murder mystery game that's set in a hotel over the course of a couple of days, where what you would do is you try to figure out who well, you know who the murderer is, but your goal is to investigate them and find clues that proves that they did it without letting the murderer know that you're onto them, essentially. So that's why I call it a reverse murder mystery. You have to balance out making careful decisions about investigating for clues, trying to find proof, trying to convince other people in the hotel that he's the person who did it, while never letting the killer know that you've caught on to them, because then they might try to turn their sights on you. And I think that one is a project I'm really excited to work on whenever we get to it, and obviously that would be very, very story-focused. But that'll come along the lines, you know. Maybe once me and my development partner have got some more experience working on story-based games. Nope, it did the super launch again. I really thought I patched that. I should have I've got a timer set up where it'll launch you and then set a timer so that it can't launch you again within a certain time frame. But it doesn't seem like that's wanting to work. Alas. How strange. Damn it, I got too close. Yeah, that one's on me. That was on me. That was too risky of a play. Which inning would taste the best? I mean, keyboard kind of looks like cheese. I guess maybe Jeb would be good if you like seafood. He's a jellyfish, kind of. I feel like Bouncer would probably be pretty good though. Like he's probably like a cow or something, because he's all just like meat. Whoop! Had the thing happen again. Who made this game? Who made this game, huh? Some hack fraud made this game? Baba, baba, bana. Yeah, there's a lot of questions people ask that I just like. I mean, I guess you can come up with an answer to it. It's like you just bullshit it whenever you want. But it's like if you ever see like a George Lucas Star Wars interview and he's just like clearly making it up on the spot. It's that, but I'm not lying. I'm upfront that I'm making it up on the spot. Die. I do actually have something I was curious about your guys' thoughts on. And I want to see if you guys are any different from this, but I feel like there are a lot of players of video games in the audience, and just in general, this is not a thing specific to my audience by any means, but a lot of people who have probably pretty limited knowledge of games, or have only played like a couple, or tend to watch YouTubers play them instead of playing them themselves. And I don't know how much of that exists in my audience. It's like, the joke is like Persona fans who've never actually played the game, but they've like watched a Let's Player play the game for them. They're like, oh man, I love Persona 5. I can't wait to play it eventually. But they'll like call it their favorite game, but they haven't even like tried it. But there's a lot of people in the audience, and there's some pretty obvious comparisons to make, like a Pizza Tower in Neon White, that are like pretty apparent. But there's also been a lot of people making the Ultra Kill comparison, and I don't really think that's an apt comparison. Like, realistically, what does this have in common with Ultra Kill other than being a fast-paced first-person shooter? Like, not really a lot. I mean, I guess it's got like a combo meter, sort of similar to the style meter, but it doesn't really have that. But I guess I'm just sort of noticing that effect firsthand. I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud. People are allowed to do what they want. But I would encourage people to try more weird games they've just like never heard of. Maybe expand your game literacy a little bit. You know, find something weird. Maybe try something you're not as familiar with, or Something that seems like a bit of an oddball choice that you might not like, but who knows? Maybe you'll take a risk and it'll turn out to be something you really love. Wow, the playlist did that really funny thing it did where it just stops again. I sure love when it does that. That's my favorite thing. Will the speedrunning competitions be only on the base difficulty or the hardest difficulty? Hardest. No, I'm kidding, it'd be normal. Steve Strike is just Ultra Kill Virtue. You know that the like enemies who attack you where you were is like that's like just how all projectiles work in like FPS games. It's like, sure, it is the idea where it attacks you directly where you stand, sure. But like it's not like that's an idea that's particularly original. And really a lot of that like projectile-based strafing and stuff is something that comes down a lot to like, you know, even just like how imps work back in Doom 1. And the detonator itself and Steve Strike are way more akin to something like the Demo Man Sticky Bomb launcher from TF2 rather than Virtue from Ultra Kill. And that's kind of the thing I find I think gets a little bit tiresome at points, is that there's like people make assumptions about what the game is trying to do based off of like one random thing. Like I said, I think the neon white comparison is both entirely justifiable and correct. But there's a lot of others where it feels like a stretch, and it's like I don't really know where you're getting at. And I don't think people mean anything ill by it. Obviously, I should stress. I'm just talking a little bit about something that I've noticed. I mostly it's the Ultra Kill one. I think the Ultra Kill one just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't really play like Ultra Kill at all. It's much different in terms of the sort of structure and how the game expects you to play it. Main similarities being that they're like high skill expression first-person shooters. That's kind of the main one, really. I'm gonna beat this eventually. I think I'm not actually thinking about playing it. I'm just too busy clocking. Looking great. Thank you. Favorite game of all time? That would be Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. It's probably not the best game ever made or the best game that I've played, but it's a game I played when I was very young and had a really strong impression on me and something that really defined a lot of my tastes. So it kind of has to stay my favorite because it's sort of the game that defined what I like about video games and what gave me a love for video games. So it's got to be Bowser's Inside Story. Other contenders, though, got to be SMT4, probably my favorite RPG, but that is also in strong contention to Final Fantasy VI, Mother 3, and Xenoblade 1. Those are also pretty strong contenders. I love Punch-Out Wii. I love Cuphead. Cuphead's fantastic. Gungeon, Kingdom Hearts 2, Metroid Dread, Street Fighter, Pizza Tower, Street Fighter 6 specifically. God Hand. God Hand is a real contender. God Hand just has a spirit that I like. I just got a personality and a tone that really clicks with me, you know? But those are a couple of, like, all-timers. I don't usually like speedrunning games, but like you said, this really interested me, and I want to try it and expand my game knowledge and branch out. I'm glad to hear it, yeah. I used to, when I was younger, just because I knew, like, COD and whatnot, and I grew up on Nintendo consoles, I was like, oh, I don't think I really like first-person shooters. I wouldn't, like, because I played Call of Duty for, like, an hour at a friend's house once, and I didn't care about it. I immediately wrote off all first-person shooters. And that was a mistake. That was a bad idea. Because obviously, I'm a big fan of first-person shooters now. Still can't say I'm really exactly a fan of the COD likes. Even trying to give one of those a bit more shot. Just not really my jam. If I'm going to play a multiplayer shooter, I'd rather do, like, a TF2. TF2 is my jam. I almost got 1,000 kills on my strange scatter gun. So I'm getting pretty good. I even top scored a couple times in that. I'm getting there. But you know, yeah, I love branching out a little bit and finding like some random indie game on Steam that seems vaguely interesting, not looking into it at all, and then buying it for like $3 and just playing it. I love doing that. Like if I found Void Collector on Steam for like $3, or well, okay, I'm not selling this for $3. I mean, if it was, I definitely would buy it for $3. But if I saw it on sale for like, you know, $7-8, I know I would definitely be like, oh, okay. Random small indie game that seems dumb. I'm aboard. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. I need to not treat him so lackadaisically. I might have to try this off stream too, just to see, because obviously I'm having a lot of difficulty getting this done. But part of that is because I am trying to talk and answer questions and think about other things while I'm doing it, which tends to make your gaming ability significantly worse. Ooh, almost ran into that cube. Point blank period. 1 HP difficulty seems really difficult. It is. It is very difficult. And I'm kind of happy about that. I like that it's fuck. How long do you think the game is going to take to be remade in Source Engine? I don't know if this game's going to be near popular enough to get that. Is it just me, or getting Cuphead vibes from the art style? I don't think it's super Cuphead-y, because it's not really 19-y, 1930s. I'll take that as a compliment for sure, because I adore Cuphead. Damn it. The casino theming overlap was not an intended comparison, but that they are certainly similar, and they both have the gambling theme. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but I don't think, like, in terms of pure style, they really have a whole lot of overlap. But it's like you said, it's more just kind of the casino theming, which that'll definitely be not quite so similar in the next area. Which the next place, I can tell you some of the ideas I've got for upcoming areas for the player to go through. We've got Tropical Trainway is the next one, so it's a Hawaii-themed. Damn it! It is a Hawaii-themed train station area, so it'll have those sorts of obstacles. It'll be more focused on like actually having stage hazards and stuff. Whereas these levels are kind of just generalized stages. They don't really take full advantage of the theme, except for the big windmill, which that one really leans into the theming much more than the others do. And that's kind of the general approach I'm probably going to be taking. Also going to have stages that are just generally a bit more focused than they are in like 3 Buildings. I think 3 Buildings is a pretty fun level still, but I kind of prefer the style of the design I take with the windmill level, where your goal is to go up, so it's more clear and focused. That hit me? Shit. Where it's more clear and focused, but it's also a little, like, what exactly is the word I'm looking for? It's more clear and focused, but there's also room for clear skips. And more importantly than having clear skips, it's got flexibility of skips. Like you play a Neon White, and I'm sure that game has plenty of like cool skips that aren't intended by the developers. But it kind of, the whole time I'm playing it, I kind of feel like I'm just doing what the developer wants me to do. Which, as long as what the developer wants you to do is fun, that's really not a. As long as what the developer wants you to do is fun, that's really not a problem. But I personally like feeling like I'm getting away with something the developer didn't expect. I love doing that. Although it is sick when you're like playing a Mario Odyssey or something and you do an insane triple backflip, cabbie jump, toss throw, backflip, super half gainer, and you like find a stack of coins where you up there, where it's like you did some insane thing that you thought was an entirely unintended skip, and then the developers put a little thing there just to let you know that they did indeed think of that. I love that shit. That shit is so cool. Doesn't really work here though, at least not right now, not with these stages. Because there's not really any places that you're not expected to go. Like, if it exists in the level, you're kind of able or expected to go there. I guess maybe I could do something like that for the, like, you can see the far-off buildings, like, way over there. Like, maybe something like that. Because some of those are actually reachable with enough, with a bit of gaming. Okay, I'm gonna real quick take a break and do another stage, I think. Dead Voices of the Void. It's a story-based horror game on itch. I've seen a bit of Joel playing that. It looks pretty cool. I do want to try it actually. TBH Ultra Kill is about switching between weapons, being fast, and killing all you can. So it's kind of the best comparison. I mean, I guess I get that, but I feel like the way that you do that is really different in the two. Like, sure, you're switching weapons a lot, both of them a lot. That is fair, but like I feel like when I'm playing this and I'm playing that, they don't have the same feel. Like maybe the objective is the same, but like there's. I guess Ultra Kill is a lot looser. That's sort of the way it feels to me. But that does actually, that is a fair point. He's doing archery, I'll be back. Well, see ya. Play TF2 if I'm really bored. I play TF2 when I'm not bored. Shit rocks. 1 HP mode makes you wish the middle fingers still give invincibility. Yeah, it's kind of true. Art style reminds me of the beginning part of the game ADHD Simulator. I've not heard of that. With thinner lines. Has the game gone platinum? I don't mean it. Well, going platinum. Going platinum just means that it's sold like I think 1 million copies or multiple millions. I don't know what the exact number is for going platinum. Going platinum is it's like that means like gross sales, not preparedness. I mean the game itself though is pretty much done. I'm just waiting on the final music pass and getting in some extra links and stuff. Like I'm gonna add a Steam store store page link. Oh yeah, that shield, it shields her. What? Who would have thought? Kind of surprising how much Gunthers are really the main obstacle on hard mode. You can kind of just like tank their damage quite a bit on the regular difficulty, but you really cannot afford to do that here, especially on narrow areas like that. That feels that's pretty fun. It really makes you have to work around them quite a bit more. My head. Okay, last time I played this song, it like crashed my entire playlist and it just stopped working. So let's see if good ol' Elena is gonna crash my playlist one more time. Okay, this one feels like it's going by a lot smoother than 3 Buildings. I think just because 3 Buildings is a little more consistently cramped. You're more frequently in situations where it's harder to avoid taking hits. Ooh, that was so slick. He's sick with it. He's so good at the game. He missed one of his shots on a giant, massive enemy, and he died immediately. He's so bad at the game. He's the worst to ever do it. I'm gonna go ahead and set oh, I didn't realize my hand position was in. There we go. Gonna go and set that to my quick map so we can just do that right off the bat. Have you rage quit your own game? Not really. Do you think boss fights will become a thing? It's probably the most frequent question I've gotten, actually. Oh. Okay, I think the game doesn't like when you click out in that menu. I mentioned it before, but there's going to be boss-like things, but they're more so things that interact with the stage rather than being dedicated fights, like that stop you in an arena. They would have to be able to let you beat them quickly, like, or be able to find cool skips in the fights, because I don't want, like, I don't know, a Mario style boss fight where you just kind of have to wait for your turn to attack. I don't think that would be very fun at all in this kind of game. So they would need to be pretty dramatically, like, they would need to be interesting, which I guess probably should go without saying. I didn't hit him. Damn it. No! Ooh. Bounced off Sheila's head. That almost sent me careening to my doom. So you can use the detonator to boost yourself in this mode, or would you die instantly? You die instantly. That is part of the difficulty of Unreasonable, is that it is very possible that using detonator boosts will just kill you. Not possible. That's what will happen. They just will kill you. So you need to be, it kind of limits your ability to use it as a close range option. Oh, okay. Why did you do, what? Slapmo. Now I'm gonna have to figure out why you did that. This is the first time you've done that in like 100 plays of this level. Why'd you do that? Now I'm gonna have to figure out what caused that. Hate that guy. Always getting in my way, always causing trouble. Oh, okay, that was weird. I've had that issue sometimes, where like an enemy will just like randomly decide to walk off a ledge, when they wouldn't do it otherwise. I think it has something to do with like walking to where a prop exists, and they get like jammed into it, and then they like try to exist in the same space as the prop and then get pushed off the ledge. It's not really a big problem most of the time, but it is an issue in this stage specifically because how vertical it is, you know? It's like can be pretty annoying if you're trying to can be pretty annoying if you're trying to you know, get a consistent kill on enemies, and then sometimes they just, like, walk off. It's fortunately not super common, but I know in something like a Hotline Miami, where that game can have pretty inconsistent enemy AI, and that can be really frustrating at times, especially in 2. It just feels like things don't work the same way that they should. Yeah, I don't know. Stuff like that can definitely be pretty obnoxious, so I wanna try and avoid that if I can manage it. Man, I really didn't think Unreasonable would be this hard. Not that I mind. I'm cool with games having pretty hard difficulties. You always got to remember, you can't strafe to the left of them when you're that close. You got to strafe to the right of them because they shoot from their hand. Their bullets are leaning actually. So they're easier to circle strafe from the left than they are from the right, or from the right than they are to the left. Oh, he walked off. See, that's fine. Sometimes the enemies just dying randomly is funny. Oh, okay, see that happened again there. Why'd Gunther walk off? Sometimes they just do that, and I don't know why. Like, I do the exact same thing multiple times, and sometimes it happens, and sometimes it doesn't. I think it probably has to do with, like, if they have momentum. It's like, if they have momentum, then they can accidentally walk off when they don't intend to. That would be my best guess. But even when I set enemies to have a little flag enabled that says can't walk off ledges, they still like to walk off ledges. But that'll have to be a bit of debugging. That's something I definitely want to sort out before the demo launches, because like I said, I think consistency in how a game works, especially for a speedrunning game, is very, very important. You don't want stuff like that that'll, like, make the player feel annoyed, like, oh, what? Okay, I just did the same thing twice and I got different results. That is never very fun to have to deal with. Okay, so we made it back here again. Let's see if I die again in an equally stupid way. Okay, I'm just gonna not deal with you. I'm not gonna talk too much. I gotta focus. I gotta clutch up. I gotta be locked in. Damn, that is actually a deviously placed shield. I didn't intend for it to be that devious. No! That's so hard, dude. That is unreasonable. You know what? I'm gonna say it. That was unreasonable. That was unreasonably difficult. I guess I can just say that the name of the difficulty is doing its job. It is accurate. Ooh, you love when that happens. You love getting a clean lineup like that. Okay, there we go. Execution style. I have found that the Gunthers and the Cuboids become way more dangerous. I mean, obviously everything becomes more dangerous, but like Steve Strike is still not super lethal of a character. He's kind of more of a utility tool usually, which I think is cool. I like when you can work enemies to your advantage. But Gunther in particular, like those projectiles can be a real menace on Unreasonable. Okay. We're gonna play it cool. We're gonna play it cool. Never approach him straight on. Always like approach him while like strafing a little bit to the right. I'm an old man. Yeah. Okay. Hold on, lock in. Okay, I said lock in and almost immediately just ran off the side of the platform. Oh, you bitch. Alright, got him. Okay. Just slap him up here. It's okay, we can take this easy. We only got like one major threat left in the stage. That's well, okay. Well, this is kind of a major threat. This is a problem. Whew. Okay, here it is though. Okay, we're gonna take it up around. No, dude, no. So that's so brutal. That's messed up. And you know the worst part is that I'm verbally acknowledging that is extremely hard. And I'm not gonna change it, because it's kind of sick. It's kind of fun how difficult it is. Shit. Oh, that's so difficult. That is so fun though. I can't bring myself to change it. I'm just having too much fun trying to get past it. Oh, he walked off. He walked off. Like a moron. Like an utter fool. Okay. Focus in. Focus in. Got a game out of my mind right now. This is the hardest game ever made. The only thing that Void Collector is going to be collecting is people's tears when they can't beat Unreasonable. Maybe I'll leave Unreasonable like Custom Night in friggin' FNAF 1, where even the guy who made it didn't even beat it. Just to see if anyone's got the cojones, anyone's got the stones to take it on. Nope, get back up there, get up there. Ooh. One of the big key skills of any speedrun game, but I think Void Collector in particular, is going to be panic recovery. Like how good you're going to be at recovering from near disaster. Like, careful. Okay, we're just going to leave that there. We're going to take them both out. Okay. We should be okay. That should be it. There's one last little group of obstacles with enemies right up here, but they're not that threatening. That should be potent? Yeah, potent. Oh, voltaic. Okay, that was actually voltaic. Sweet. What did I set the time to? Was it under 2 minutes for that stage? I could have sworn I wouldn't have gotten better than Yeah, no, okay, it was 2 minutes. I thought I set it to 150 for some reason. Okay, nice. That was really fun. Oh shit, there's a lot of comments. Sorry guys, I got locked in. Let me read up on what happened. Holy shit, there's so many messages. Let's see. So can you use the detonator boost? Oh, yeah, you read that one. Are there any more weapons you want to add? Well, I think I could probably add maybe 2 more weapons and then rework some. I think the one that needs reworked the most is the Gimme. I just don't find myself using it very often. It's just a little situational. Like, it's certainly not bad, but it's better when at long range to pull yourself towards stuff, but generally it's still probably just easier. You don't have to think that hard about just using this instead, even if this is technically a lot more expensive. It's just kind of harder to find situations where this is that useful. So I'd expect the Gimme to probably be getting a rework. Might just be a different weapon entirely, because I'm just not sure if the concept works all that well at all. So that's going to get a rework, but I could see myself adding probably around 2 more weapons. I don't want to add too much to make it feel bloated, but maybe something else to slightly expand your close range options, and then something else as like an additional like long range option, but like a difficult long range option. Like specifically, I kind of like the idea of like chucking a grenade or something. Maybe that could be the new Gimme, actually, is that you chuck a grenade or something. I don't know. And the other one, I don't know. But maybe 2 more. Probably not too many, though. Prototype of a name and or design. His name is B, short for Bourguignon, which is a French beef. And he's a funny guy with a red jacket, and he's very tired. He's not an amputated arm, unlike what some other people in this chat would lie to you about. Satmo might have done that because they detected something that was the ground that wasn't. It wasn't the particles. It would have to be like an actual ground floor. It's called Unreasonable for a reason. It's true. It's not a lie. It's fun. Wall climb would be sick. That seems a little too powerful. Like, if you make it fast, because a lot of the stages in this game going forwards are going to be pretty vertically oriented. Because I just think that this game just kind of feels better when it's designed around those, especially tools like using this and this. These just tend to feel a lot nicer, like vertically, because you have a lot of like good horizontal movement, but less good vertical movement. So making them more vertical tends to be a little bit more challenging in a lot of ways. So combining them, but having it generally be more vertical than horizontal, at least in my purview, is the way to go. Do you think there will be continuity between stages, like some sort of explanation for how the player gets from the casino to the tropical place you mentioned? Not really a concern of mine. It'll just all be sort of in one hub area. Has the index finger on its own already been added? Like this? No. There's ideas for it, but it's already such a useful finger, I'd rather give it to something that's not getting a whole lot of use. Like maybe index only, or pinky only. Something that doesn't already have a lot of function, because you need the index for 1, 2... Actually, no, that's not index. I keep getting my fingers thrown. Yeah, no, it would be something like the index. This is pointer. For the longest time, I thought index and ring were the same thing, but no, it's not. This is the ring. Or no, is it the same? Hold on, I always forget. I always get it backwards, and then I learn it's the right way, and then convince myself it's the other way. I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna make sure I'm not stupid. Okay, yes, no, this is the index. This is the index. I thought this was the ring and the index. It's not, it's just the ring. This is the index / pointer. That's what it is. Okay. I'm cleared up in the brain. But yeah, you already use it for 1, 2, 3. You use it for like 1, 2, 3. You use it for 2 different weapons, and they're 2 of the most essential weapons in the game, so it doesn't really need more. And it's also used for this. It's just super good already. Would you be angry if someone stole this concept and made it into a hand-tracked VR game? I mean, there's a difference between stealing the concept and making your own spin on it. Like, if you make a game where you control each finger on your hand and do your own shit with it, that's a-okay. Like, even if you made, like, a game that's basically this, but you put your own spin on it, like, even if you call it, like, a Void Collector or whatever, it's like a fan deal, that's a-okay. It's different if you try to, like, you know, if you try to sell it or something, but, the concept is not, like, really mine. It's like if people got mad at Ultra Kill or something for stealing the style meter from Devil May Cry. Like, no one cares about that. Like, it's free, it's a free market. Maybe Unreasonable should be an unlock after beating on a normal, because some people with massive-ass egos will drive themselves insane going straight for Unreasonable. That's on them. If they can't man up and lower the difficulty, that's on them. But I will give them the option to start difficult. I think that every man, woman, and child in this country should have the right to play the game as difficult as possible, even if it is a very, very poor decision. I think this game is cool. Thank you, Kraken Man J. Where did the name Void Collector come from? Yeah, that's plot reasons. Pointer finger makes me think of lightning bending from... Oh, Avatar. I was like, what does that stand for? But you said lightning bending. What else would it stand for? Duh. Okay. Sorry, I let the messages get backed up for quite a ways there. Wait, no, I already did this one. All right, we're going back to finish what I needed to start. Gotta go face my demons and finish 3 buildings on Unreasonable. I really did not think would be quite so unreasonable. I hit myself. I'm a fool. I'm a foolish man. I'm the most foolish man ever live. As a matter of fact. Shit. I didn't get all of them. Did I get all of them? Now I got all of them. Nope, nope, get the juice. Ooh. Man, Sheila Gunther is genuinely a really difficult combo to deal with in Unreasonable, and I'm happy about that. That's exactly how I wanted it to function. I do think that making the normal difficulty a little bit easy, which it probably still is, and it's probably not very easy, is probably the right way to go. If you guys know Kingdom Hearts, then I adore the difficulty options in that franchise, specifically Kingdom Hearts 2. Because first time I played the game, I played it on normal. I thought it was a whole lot of fun. It's flashy, it's not super difficult, but it's a really fun, engaging game with a really, like, a ton of variety, and it just looks really good and feels good to play. But like I said, it's not the deepest game out there, because you don't really need to engage with the mechanics on a super deep level. you can just kind of run through pressing your same buttons over and over, and you're A-okay. Then really gotta... You can just spam healing items and not have to worry too hard about taking damage. You're fine. But when I played the... I almost had it. I almost had it. But when I played the game again, a couple years later, I played it on critical mode, which is a much, much harder difficulty, which notably starts the game off by giving you even more abilities, like a bunch of abilities to start out with, but it also halves your health, and that is a pretty brutal penalty to put up with. And it's hard. It's really difficult. But playing it on that is one of the most fun things I've ever done in a video game, and I wouldn't have enjoyed that critical mode run as much if I didn't have the more lax normal mode run first. But I wouldn't have enjoyed critical mode as much if it wasn't so unreasonably hard. So, you know, it's all about being able to ease your players in a little bit. And arguably, I'd say maybe going from straight from the standard difficulty, from prepared to unreasonable, is arguably quite a bit of a jump still. Which it is. It definitely is. It's quite a ways. Quite the difference in difficulty. Oh, I dropped my Chombo. Damn. Still gonna have to go for Voltaic Plus, or at the very least, getting a full combo, or Voltaic on all of these stages outside of this, just to make sure that that's actually feasible. But yeah, I love big difficulty. I think it's so much fun, and I wanna be able to have that. And genuinely, I know I've been slamming my keyboard and looking up at the heavens, asking why every time I die. Ooh, oh no, I got spun around again. But I'm having a really good time. Like this difficulty option is just making me even more confident that I've made something really fun. At the very least, I know that I've made something that I really like, which that's the first step. You know, you gotta make sure that it's something that you want to play, and then from there you can make something that everybody else will want to play. That might have been Voltaic. That was definitely Voltaic. Damn it, it wasn't Voltaic. But look at that, we got it. Just took a little bit of learning, a little bit of practice, but we got it down, baby. Make a hand pose that looks like a fundamental weapon. It's like this, but I kind of have this. I don't really know what that would do. Because generally what I think my process is going to be for the rest of this is think of what's a weapon that the game is kind of missing right now. Like, I'm going to wait till post-demo feedback before I make any too big decisions, but right now I'm thinking the things that we need the most is probably going to be a high skill ceiling projectile-based, like, long-range weapon, an additional close-range option, maybe one additional movement tool. That's generally what I'm thinking the game probably needs, but I'll hold on that a little bit till we get the demo and get feedback, just to see if people agree or disagree with that sentiment, see what people feel. Although I'll tell you, I'm probably right on that. I feel pretty confident that I'm correct that that's what the game needs, or rather, what the game would benefit from, not so much needs. Ooh. Basically, think of kind of a detonator that's something that you throw, and has really long range, and not on a meter. So it'd be really powerful, about as powerful as the detonator if you could get really good at it, but getting good at it would be really hard. And I think that sounds like a lot of fun. Ooh. Holy shit, I got bounced. Don't you shoot me, you son of a... I almost ran into that, bouncer. Bounced me into that, you son of a gun. No! Ah, I still shot it! I thought I'd kill him in time. Wait, I've got an idea. Actually. I've got an idea. Hold on. Sick route in mind. Ooh, they lined up perfectly for that one. They were setting those pins up so I could knock them down. By the way, how sick is the stage route, by the way? I said, by the way, like 4 times there. Like, darting in and out of the different parts of the stage, using all the big shortcuts here and there. I don't know if this is the fastest route. It's the fastest route I've been able to find. That's for darn sure. Okay, wait, hold on. Oh, I don't have it up. Right. I used it. I used it already. Dang it. Yeah, that goes that. I didn't think about that, did I? I was gonna get rid of that guy from up here. Which might actually be faster if you get the Steve Strikes to eliminate themselves. Sorry about the silence. I'm locked in. Okay, I got him. Holy shit. Okay, I did get him. Okay, that was still... Oh no, we'll take. Let's go! Nice, baby! I need to... I should probably add like a little thing somewhere. Add thing to tell people what the full take plus potent times are. Just so it's not entirely guesswork as to if you're gonna succeed or not. I think maybe Scissors Pose could be good for closer melee. I don't really know how good that would be, though, is kind of my concern. Because I've thought about that, like sort of a chainsaw-type weapon. But if you're up close to an enemy, you could either... generally, your close range is going to be... You're going to whittle them down with the pistol while you get close, finish it off with a shotgun blast and then when you get to them. And that's like the fastest way to kill an enemy. But you can also use the uppercut, which is more expensive, but has the benefit of giving you good movement immediately while still killing an enemy. And I'm not sure if just a chainsaw-like weapon would really be better than either of those. Like, I don't know if I can really think of a situation where I'd rather have a chainsaw rather than the uppercut or the bing bang boom middle range. What do you think of a weapon that would be like a taser that would be able to make enemies freeze in place and stop shooting projectiles? I mean, maybe. I don't want it to be too easy to just neutralize stuff. That was kind of the thing with the middle finger, is that it was a little boring and it was a little too easy. Like, it's a lot more fun to dodge projectiles than it is to just say, no, I didn't get hit. But we'll see. We'll see. It would need to be something kind of interesting. And it needs to be my own spin. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, you should add a parry. I'm not adding a parry. I don't want to add a parry. If I'm going to do something like a cool defensive option, it's going to be something unique and different. That's what I want to do. Although maybe a defensive option wouldn't be a bad idea. We just need to be interesting. Expecting people to sequence break the hell out of your game. That's the hope. That's the goal, baby. I don't know why I said baby there. But yeah, absolutely. I'll just do a run of big windmill. Like, ordinarily you'd go over here and stuff, but like you've even seen me play this level. I don't take the main route. Get him. Yeah, but a large part of the fun for me has been finding ways to break the game myself. Like, you know, the path would be to go over there, up there, around here. I don't do that shit, I just do this. You know? And there's a crazy skip I've got, actually, that I'd love to be able to replicate consistently. But if you get hit by the bouncer while going upwards and then detonate, it gives you a crazy amount of height, so you can kill him and skip all the way up here. It's really, really fast. It's really difficult to pull off, though. I'm curious to see if anyone's going to find that or be able to execute that in the speedrun comp. And that is actually something I'm very curious about, is like how... Okay, Death hit a single shot challenge, please. But I'm really curious to see how far people are going to be able to take it. You know, I'd love to see somebody get invested enough to like make a truly cracked run of some of these stages. I'd love to see people beat my developer times. I'd love to see people get something insane that I've never found. I'd love to see people find like some weird glitch that I've never heard of that like lets them do some insane like stylish skip. You know, that's what the fun part is, really. That's what the magic of this game is going to be, is playing it in ways that weren't intended. So I want to lean into that. I want to reward that, and that's what I want to really encourage. So I don't just expect that people will sequence break the game. I hope people will sequence break it. Because if people care enough to find cool skips, then that means you've done a good enough job at making a game that people would want to continue to play it and learn more about it and get better at it. And if there's people who play this game and think that this is fun and I want to get better at it, then that is such a massive honor to me as a developer. Like, that's the best thing that you can ask for. And money. I want money. Also, give me money. But in sincerity, if people give a shit enough about this game to do that, then I would be truly honored and thankful. Have you thought about adding an animation for the pistol where smoke is coming out? I don't really want to do smoke. I don't think that really fit, but like maybe like a magical particle of some sort. I don't know if that's really necessary though, because it's a short cooldown already. I just noticed that the freaking muzzle flash breaks a little bit. Hold on, yeah, see? I thought I fixed that. Fix muzzle flash bug. Yeah. I'm all for extra polish and stuff, but I also don't want to make the game too visually busy. But if it's, you know, like a subtle thing like that, that helps add to the overall feeling that the game's going for. That helps add to the atmosphere. That helps sell a certain game feel. If it helps make punches, not punches, but hits, impacts, and punches, I guess, feel nice and weighty, then, you know, certainly a thing to consider. Get up there! No! I'm a fool! How would you recommend someone start making games? I wanted to make some, but I don't know where to start. Well, I'd say start very, very small. Pick an engine of your choosing, ideally something relatively simple, but it has to be something you're excited about learning. But I'd say like Scratch is an excellent place to like get your bearings. You shouldn't use Scratch for too long, but it's a good place to like start. RPG Maker I think is also a pretty good like sort of foundational engine, where you don't really have to code too much and you can just kind of learn a bit about game design first and foremost. That's what I would say should be like a good first course of action. And the key is just to both stay consistent and keep your scale reasonable. Don't try to do too big. If you throw yourself in the deep end right away, you're probably not going to finish. And that's what it was for me for the longest time. The only reason I've made it 3 months on this game, which is probably the longest I've worked. The longest I've worked on anything for this amount of time. For so focusedly, so intentedly, anyways. And that's just because I'm doing it consistently, you know. And because I worked up to this. I didn't just start learning Unreal 3 months ago. I started learning Unreal a year and a half ago. And it's only when I felt like I was confident enough in my baseline skills that I could make something that I tried to make something like this that is larger scale. And even then, this is not supposed to be a big project. Like this is supposed to take about a year of development time. So by a lot of indie standards, that's pretty small. You know, we're not talking Cuphead 5 years, nothing like that. So key thing is you need to not do anything that's gonna make it difficult for you to want to continue. You need to come up with an idea that you're excited about, but is also reasonable and small enough, and convince yourself to consistently work on it even when you don't want to work on it. That's critical. Is being able to work on something even when you don't want to work on it right then. Because I've had days where I'm like, I really don't want to work on Void Collector right now, but I sit up and I do it anyways, even if it's not super long. Because you gotta be willing to push through bouts of not wanting to, just to get back to that point where you do want to. You moved the Ultra Bouncer? I did. And I explained that earlier, but the reasoning is that it felt kind of bad to encounter a new type of enemy at the end of a kind of a long level. Like if you spent 4 minutes playing a stage and you get introduced to a new type of enemy and then it pushes you off the side of the stage and you gotta restart at the very end, not very fun. So I'm gonna save introduction of Ultra enemies till the next world. And probably do that earlier on in a stage. You thought about making a damage over time weapon or long-range piercing shot? I think I inherently just don't really like damage over time mechanics. I I'm not a big fan of Pyro in TF2, probably one of my least favorite classes to fight. Although obviously it's different when you're dealing the damage over time. But I just don't really find it personally as fun as just blunt damage. And I'm careful about... I'm pretty also against making powerful, like, powerful long-range options. Because for me the most fun part of this game is the movement and weapon switching. And it would become a lot easier to trivialize the need to switch weapons if you had really good, like, long range. Shit. Like, there's a reason that the sniper rifle is pretty bad in a lot of situations, and it's good for picking off, like, Gunthers and other long-range, like, low-health opponents. And it's because I don't want it to be... I don't want a sniper rifle to be that good. It's much better for a shotgun to be too good than a sniper rifle to be too good. At least in my own subjective taste. So, I mentioned adding a long-range weapon earlier, and my idea for that would be, like, a projectile that you chuck and then it explodes when it lands on a surface, because that would require learning a different skill set of knowing how to use that projectile, and that would be able to get around a lot of the annoyances of having or a lot of the difficulties of having a weapon like that, because it could be really, really strong, but it has such a high skill ceiling to use, that you can kind of get around that a lot. Anyways, a lot of rambling. But I want to be careful. Ooh, I got all of them. Let's go. I want to be careful about incorporating things that might play against this game's strengths. And I feel like having too prevalent of a long-range game would, even with these levels being pretty close and a lot of things like Sheila Shields forcing you to get close, I just don't really want to get players in the mindset that long range is the way to go. And I think like a lot of multiplayer games would probably be better if they just didn't design a long range sort of sniper class. Like TF2, I like playing sniper. I've got, like 300 kills on a strange sniper rifle. I play them a lot. I like clicking on people's heads and deleting them. But I'm not gonna pretend that fighting sniper is very fun a lot of the time. You just kind of die if you don't. So I don't know if I want to lean too far into that on my own. Okay, well, I've now beaten everything on Unreasonable. It's been about 2 hours. I feel like I didn't really beat any of my own times, but that was a good Q&A session. Glad it was a good stream. Hope you guys had fun. I'm gonna go take a little break, get some honey for my poor, tired throat. And then I think I'm gonna go crack down on those couple of bugs that we found today. Maybe try to figure out why they keep walking off of ledges. Ledge bug. I got my list. But I will hope to see everybody on Friday with the release of the demo. You mentioned being apprehensive of skins for the hand because of extra work, because it does seem like a good way to make extra money and incentivize good runs. I just don't really care, personally, about cosmetics. Really? Like, I think it's kind of nice in a multiplayer game to, like, customize your scout or something, but I don't know. It's not a priority for me, really. Alright. Anyways. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate the support and conversation